which I think we need, and we would have any other time. And the White House has said no. I just want to, for the record. So that's where the responsibility lies. As far as how to make it happen, I have to tell you, we're too damn nice as Democrats or liberals. You know, seriously, raise hell. You know, call the White House, email the White House, march on the White House or whatever, and make sure the American people want them to act, because if we don't do it now, I mean, shit, when? Right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about radio a little bit.
Radio?
Yeah. It's, you know, your day job.
How fascinating.
We've got a couple of questions along the same sort of lines.
Nobody here knows anything about it.
No, they did not see the questions ahead of time. A couple of people asked this question in a couple of different ways. Kurt in Federal Way is one of them. First, he says, the progressive radio hosts throughout our great nation generally do a great job at keeping us informed. He says, no one, however, seems to be discussing the potential solutions, nor holding on-air discussions with organizers. Now, a broad generalization, I know, but I just wonder, just from the short time we've talked tonight, if part of the problem is there are not answers for some of these questions, which must be distressing for people who are who had high hopes about the administration, about the new Congress, and everything else. Is there more that you could do that's humanly possible on the radio, do you think, or is this just the frustration Democrats are going to have to learn to live with?
I think the answers are out there. We talk about Hartman has guests on. They work on solutions and discussion, but I think the answers, we all know what the answers are.
Yeah.
First of all, you know, when they say, well, the liberals or the Democrats don't have an answer, yes, we do. It's to motivate the people who have the power within the system, unless you want, you know, riots in the streets, try the legal process, people in the system who have the power, like congressional committees, to begin holding hearings and expose this. If Congress can't do it, you know, I can sit on Peachtree Street in Atlanta all day long and pretend like I'm going to hold the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and people will walk by and say, lock this guy up, he's crazy. So we have the answers. We know what the answers are. We know what they are. And I think one of the things that I do, I don't try to inspire anybody to do anything. My program is just a massive bitch fest, I guess. But,
yeah.
But the answers are out there. The answers are...
And by the way, a lot of people do say, lock this guy up, he's crazy.
They
but
do. They do all the time.
In a nice way.
But the answer is to motivate the people who have the power to do what we know to do.
Let me tell you else, it's part of the answer, because I think every one of these programs you listen to, even Mike's program, you will hear what the problem is, you'll hear what the solutions are, you'll hear the truth. I think the answer is, give us 500 freaking stations. You know, put us up there with Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh, and we'll turn this fucking country around. Right now.
Let me just
Dave,
Tom.
I am just here for the fart jokes, as you know, so
Yes.
I
They told me that, yeah.
I have no part of any of this solution business, but whatever.
Tom?
Let me just add, you know, Mike talked about we need to get the people in power to do things. The 33rd District Democratic Party, if I have that right, has got a... Say that again? 33rd. Has a table out here. If we were all to get together and say, you know, NBC Evening News sucks, and we want to turn, or ABC or CBS, and we want to take one of these big corporations over and turn them into a real truth-telling organization, the only way to do it would be to raise hundreds of billions of dollars. And even then, it would be a massive fight. And they'd be standing at the doors from the get-go saying, no way, you can't come in. On the other hand, there is a multi-million-dollar organization. It's a large institution. It has offices all over the United States. And every single one, or the vast majority, 99.5%, of all of the people in all of those offices are there because somebody walked into the door of a Democratic Party office and said, I'm here, I want to help, I want to volunteer. I think that we don't need to just push the levers of power and the people in Congress. We need to become them. And when your member of Congress comes to town, long before they come to talk to all of us who are showing up for a town hall meeting, they first stop and talk with the people from the local party, the volunteers, the people who are showing up every week, the people who are going door to door handing out pamphlets. They first meet with them. And if you join that party, if you participate, and they're here tonight, sign up, show up. You join that party when when Jim McDermott or whoever's representing this district, when these folks come to town, you'll be the first person that they're meeting with, and your voice will be 100 times louder than anybody in a town hall. And that's and unlike a big news corporation saying no, you can't. They're saying please come in. They're begging us to come in. They're asking us to take them over. Let's do it.
It is a little annoying when your solutions are taken off the table politically. I mean, just briefly getting back to healthcare, universal single payer, that's the solution.
Yeah,
but
right.
We can't even talk about it because it's off the table politically, and so that it's not going to happen. We got to change that dynamic somehow so that the real solutions stay on the table.
Yeah, that actually, I think, a pretty good job by the Obama administration to take that off the table.
Oh, yeah.
Where it is not discussed even by people, you mentioned Jim McDermott, who has been long an advocate. I mean, we just don't hear it anymore. So it worked. This gets back to something Bill said about Democrats are being too nice. There's a question from Scott in Puyallup. He says, why don't liberals start organizing like the nutbag right and go to representatives' town hall meetings? There has been some in the past around Social Security, not quite as nuts as the ones we've seen lately. But is there sort of a lack of passion on the left?
We did that around the war.
Yeah.
We had more people showed up on the streets opposing the invasion of Iraq than in the history of the world. It was bigger than the Vietnam demonstrations. We have done that before. We need to
got a lot of coverage in the corporate media too, didn't it? All those worldwide demonstrations all over. Got about 3 minutes on the evening news.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's part of the problem too.
Yeah, and we were right about the war, and they're wrong about health care. So think about that.
What was
that's
the question,
thing. It's like,
David?
what are their solutions? Their solutions are to keep health care the way it is? Who really thinks that health care is working in this country?
Is the right just better, Mike, at rabble-rousing, at making...
I think any reactionary organization can really, get boots in the street, so to speak. Just by its nature, it's reactionary.
Yeah.
But I think Republicans are easier to motivate because I've said this before. I really do consider every Republican to be. I'm talking about now, to be a coward. And they're fearful. They're scared to death. And because they are that, they can be easily motivated. So to turn 100, 150 people out to a town hall meeting to disrupt things is not that difficult. I think Democrats and liberals and progressives, on the other hand, first of all, we're skeptical of leadership. We always have been. We want to, you want to lead. Why do you want to lead? I'm not going to follow you until you give me a goddamn good reason, which is not what Republicans do. So it's more difficult to get 150 Democrats to show up someplace and start, as Stephanie so, nicely put it, flaming bags of dog shit into the discussion.
Well, I think we have a problem organizing. I remember Jim Ward and I went to an anti-war rally down in downtown LA at one point, and every friggin' group in the world was there. The hemp people and the Palestinian. I was like, people, get it together, organize, let's get out of this war. Try to focus for a minute.
Yeah, the last anti-war demonstration I went to, there was a huge contingent of Free Mumia or Leonard Pelletier, which are probably great causes. Yes. But like she said, we're there for a certain reason. But this is Democrats. This is what Will Rogers said.
They do out-organize us partly because we're Democrats.
Yeah.
But the other reason, I really do think that Democrats are too nice. I mean, I'm sorry, and it pisses me off. Let me tell you. Let's go back.
They're so nice they don't even want to disrupt you with applause for that.
You're allowed to. It's all right. Yay! But I mean, let's go back. I broadcast from Washington. I'm around Washington, so that's sort of my focus. But watching the Democrats, so they've got power. We've got the White House. We have the House of Representatives. We have the Senate. why do we give a shit what Chuck Grassley thinks?
That's a great question.
No, I mean, seriously. Or why do we care what Mitch McConnell thinks? I don't just forget them. Let me tell you.